it up, pump it up.
Trae.
Come on, come on.
With Trae.
Pump it up, pump it up.
It's the day with Trae.
This is the day to gain inspiration, to make a positive change in the nation. We're inviting you to partake in conversation, to raise your vibration. It's the day that we will all celebrate all of our peeps that make this thing elevate. Watch the negative fade away, cause it's the day with Trae.
Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I get to welcome you to a terrific Tuesday, y'all. Y'all know on these Tuesdays, okay, I love to get into it a little bit, but I'm also so excited to get into it today with my guest. We got a Pacific Northwest Ballet takeover today, y'all. So excited because I get to talk to Ikolo Griffin. He is the DanceChance instructor. Y'all, we're going to be learning all about that phenomenal program. And later on in the show, we got the ballet soloist, Amanda Morgan, back in the building. And I can't wait to catch up with her. It has been way too long. So before I catch up with them, I get to catch up with you because this is the top of the show. So it's the perfect time for you to go ahead and share this show with folks who you feel could benefit from our daily dose of dopeness we work to give you here on The Day with Trae. You know what? If you can't watch us, you can always listen to us anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network and The Day with Trae. You'll find me on your favorite platforms. Well, of course, I'm so excited to get into both of my guests today. So up first, we got Ikolo Griffin. What's up, Ikolo?
Hey, Trae.
How are you?
Excellent. It's a great day with Trae.
No, you know what? I was going to say it too. The energy is nice and right up in here, and I so appreciate you joining me today. Now, before we get into it with you as an instructor at PNB, I got to ask about your background. Tell me how you got into the world of ballet.
Sure. Well, my mother's Jewish. My father's African American. I grew up in San Francisco, California. And when I was 8 years old, little did I know when I was going to my elementary school that the San Francisco Ballet would end up coming to our school and doing like a little movement workshop. At the end of the workshop, I got a outreach scholarship.
Oh.
And the outreach scholarship then, 10 years later, I was the first student from that program to get into the San Francisco Ballet Company.
Wow.
And I danced there. I also got a chance to dance with Dance Theater of Harlem in New York, which was an incredible experience. I also danced with the Joffrey Ballet in Chicago. And then, 4 years ago, I came up to Seattle and joined the Pacific Northwest Ballet as an instructor here. And I'm just having a wonderful time living in Seattle.
This is really interesting because your exposure to ballet was through that workshop, right?
Absolutely.
Had you had any idea about it beforehand?
No, I think there was a musician, I think his name was Michael Jackson. We were trying to do all of his moves. We were just trying to be like Mike. And then all of a sudden, the next thing I know, we're doing in our cafeteria space, right? We had an instructor come in, we had a musician playing for us, and we were just dancing. And little did I know that would lead to a ballet career for me.
You know, it's interesting too, because when you talk about getting a scholarship, that means they saw something in you. How was that experience for you? Were you expecting it? Did y'all know it was possible? Was that a surprise?
It was a huge surprise. I had no idea. What I've come to learn through the ballet world is that my feet kind of did the pointing thing kind of naturally. I had a good energy. I know for me, my first experience dancing was in the Nutcracker. And I'll never forget how much I enjoyed coming out on stage and just being a performer. I think performing is in my blood. My father was an actor and a director in the Bay Area and did all kinds of things. So I think it's just kind of in the blood of me. You know what I mean? But I didn't know that was like ballet was going to be my lane.
Wow. It's so beautiful because now DanceChance, tell us a bit about this program because it sounds like it's similar to what you experienced back home.
100%. So DanceChance has been a program at Pacific Northwest Ballet for over 30 years now. And it's a wonderful program. It goes to we went to, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 schools, elementary schools in King County. And basically we go into the school, we talk to the third graders, We tell them we're going to do some movements, and we've really developed a program to make it more of a movement class instead of just, I think what I heard about it before was just go, stretch, touch your toes. We want to see how flexible you are. Point your feet. We want to see, and now we make it a much more fun movement experience. I'm playing all kinds of music for them. We're dancing, and we have a couple of instructors that are then watching and evaluating the students, and we picked over 100 students this year, and 70 have come to our program. Oh. So we have 70 DanceChance 1 students this year, and we do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They get bussed in during their lunch period, if you will. Some of them really do like to miss school, I won't lie. I'm like, why are you here? Oh, because I get to be out of school. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh-huh. But it's really great. We give them dance tights and leotards and shoes, and then they go into the studio at the Pacific Northwest Ballet building, and we have a musician, we have an accompanist, and I give them full ballet. I don't hold back. I give them the full ballet experience, and they really enjoy it, it seems like.
Now, this has got to be, I mean, we were just saying, this is full circle moment for you.
It is.
I mean, honestly. And for me, I got to ask you about that young you as a third grader, seeing now these third graders. Tell us about that experience as they are responding to not only your instruction, but you're getting to see them explore these movements.
Sure. It's very interesting because you can see which students kind of have that natural thing what ballet needs. It needs a certain amount of poise. It needs a certain amount of elegance. It needs a certain amount of confidence almost. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And some kids absolutely have it. And when you see one of those kids, I just like, all right, we're going to try it. You know, and it's a delicate process. Because I know for me, there was many years I was like, Mom, I want to quit ballet. She's like, no, try it. You know, keep going. You like to perform, right? And so I try to do that same thing. I try to push them to work hard, but also make it fun. And so they won't just shy away when soccer comes or something else grabs their attention. You know, it's like, how do you keep their attention in that? But it's really beautiful to watch. And I hope to find that next little Ikolo, if you will.
Well, I mean, you know, it's beautiful because I think people don't understand. It's beyond dedication and hard work. Everyone who wants to be a dancer doesn't get the chance to be a dancer. That's right. So I really appreciate that there's this level of intentionality from Pacific Northwest Ballet to be involved at this young of an age, to give that experience to others. But also too, I mean, throughout your career, we talk about the diversity of ballet, how it's growing, right? I know PNB is very intentional about that. Is that something that you experienced in other, ballet companies you were a part of?
Sure, I experienced both sides. I experienced sides. I've been in companies where there was a lot of diversity, and I've been in other companies where there was hardly any, and I was the token, if you will. So I got the chance to kind of see both sides of it. I think what we do here at PNB, we call it PNB for short, is the best I've seen across the country. It is absolutely the number one. And it starts at the top and it permeates all the way through. Every level, whether it's administration, school, company, it's so great that this company is so dedicated to diversity. And then at DanceChance, we see it too. You should see our class. It's just colors, all the colors, and it's so beautiful. And yet they're all standing still. I have a little thing I call ballet rest. I just make them with their hands behind their back, just stand up tall, you know what I mean? And be quiet, because that's the hardest thing to get little third graders to do. Oh, to stand still. Oh my goodness. It's so hard.
You're like, be still and be quiet?
Yeah, yeah, it is hard work, but they love it. They also love doing the 100 crunch challenge.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, they do the 100 crunches. Oh, what? Yeah. We guys got to do 100 crunches.
Well, that's one thing about ballet dancers' bodies. Y'all know how to stay fit.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, that is a part of it. But also, too, I got to say that I'm so grateful that you were able to bring your passion for dance here to PNB.
Yeah.
And when you talk about PNB being one of the most diverse in terms of their intentionality, that's another thing that we really get to take back with us as folks who are here
Absolutely.
In this great Pacific Northwest experiencing that level of intentionality. Because for me, I'm always thinking about how can we make sure that community members feel welcome.
Absolutely.
And I really appreciate PNB for being another a space, an institution here that says, no, we're serious about it. Because if you got that talent, we want you out there on that stage.
Absolutely. Not only are they addressing that, but they're also addressing the mental health part of it, that they're giving space for mentorship and making sure that dancers are doing it in a really healthy, positive frame. I'm telling you, it's the best out of any company in the country. It's really, really great.
To hear that. You know what, Ikolo, I can't thank you enough for being here, for doing this amazing, phenomenal work, and for shoring up those third graders so that one day we can see them on the big stage.
Absolutely. No, it's been great. And there has been a couple of success stories from that DanceChance program that dancers have gone to join companies. So it is truly a successful program.
Oh, see, you're doing great work over there.
Thank you so much, Trae.
Thanks so much for being with me today.
My pleasure.
Wow. Y'all, what a great way to start this episode. We get to continue in this greatness because up next, we got ballet soloist Amanda Morgan back in the building, y'all. Can't wait to dive in with her. Y'all definitely don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Start the show. Have you heard? Everyone living in Washington state can buy health insurance regardless of immigration status. Call 1-855-923-4633 to find out your option through Washington Health Plan Finder. The call is free, safe, and secure, and getting health insurance will not affect your immigration status. Give us a call today.
Urban League of Metropolitan Seattle is bringing a whole lot of star power to town as Taraji P. Henson and Hill Harper headline their 23rd annual breakfast happening November 22nd at the Seattle Convention Center Summit. Grab your tickets now at urbanleague.org.
You on my mind a lot. Don't need no time watch. I don't know how I got you in my pocket spot. Yeah, that's babe, need you every day. You seem like the barging down. Got my heart no barging in. From the bed to the floor to the couch. Might wake the neighbors up. Break you in then break you out. In the end we gon' make a child. Then we gon' hit the shower. Part 2 we don't need no pause. You miss me, we gon' get tipsy. Don't need a power shot.
Copy my steel. Face the fact that. Copy my steel. Face the fact that.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Joining me right now is Amanda Morgan. What's up, girl?
Hi.
You know what? It's so great to have you back in the studio. And I feel like it's been a really long time because the last time you were here, you just got promoted. So you got to fill me in on all the deets. How has it been? And what have I been missing? Because I know you've been hitting that stage.
Oh, okay. A lot of things. I actually got to debut in 2 really iconic Balanchine roles. They're ballets created by George Balanchine, who's the choreographer. One was in The Prodigal Son, which is the role of the siren, and the other was Stravinsky Violin Concerto, where I did a pas called Aria 1. And so the last time they did these ballets, I actually was a professional division student and then also had just joined the company as an apprentice. And so for it to be like 8 years later now doing these roles that I saw people that I idolized, you know, growing up, I was like, honestly, it was unreal. So that's one thing.
Wow.
Simultaneously, I actually am been doing a lot of more full-time college and school through our second stage program. It's a partnership with Seattle University. So I'll be in the class of 2025 next year, getting my bachelor's in arts management. So,
wow,
yeah.
Good for you. You know what? Honestly, that's one of the programs I really am so excited about because I love when I first heard about it. It was like, no, how do we continue in the success of our dancers? And so you're experiencing that firsthand. How are you feeling being able to balance that and really now have some type of focus on your education?
Yeah, I think that I've been doing that program since I joined the company as an apprentice, so when I was 20 years old. And it consists of doing one class a quarter, where you usually have a full day of work from 9 to 6 p.m. And then from that 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays is like night school. So I've been doing that for like almost 8 years to get a bachelor's degree. And then eventually, like the past couple years, I've been adding more and more classes. This past summer, I was a full-time student. But I think it's like, I mean, it's an amazing program because essentially, you know, there's part of your college that's paid for, and then the other part you do have to pay for. But I think that, you know, I come from a family of immigrants. My mom is from the Dominican Republic and my dad is Puerto Rican. And so education is like a huge importance in our family. And I think that like, that's something that people can't take away from you, is like your knowledge and your brain and your experiences. And so I was like, how could I not take advantage of this opportunity, you know, simultaneously while like living out my dream dancing. I am tired for sure at times because, you know, school is school, but it's specifically because I'm getting a degree in arts management. I think that, I mean, it just pairs so well with the things I want to do and what I'm learning and what I experience on a day-to-day basis working at, you know, an arts organization.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say too, was that what's great is you've got amazing roots here at PNB, right? I mean, clearly, all of the roles you've been able to play, the ways you've been able to grow in the business, you've seen a lot of facets of this business from a young age, because I remember you telling me about your beginnings. So really, you've seen so much when it comes to the business. What are some of those things you get excited about when you think about having that arts management degree? Because there's so many other ways that you still get to contribute to the art world once you have that degree. Tell me a little bit about what you're seeing there.
Yeah, I think that's such a good point. You know, I'm also a choreographer and I have my own nonprofit called the Seattle Project. So we're continuously still doing projects. We just had our largest show this past March that sold out 2 shows. So that was like really awesome and incredible to see, like, oh, I'm able and capable of doing this while still, you know, being a full-time professional ballet dancer. So I think like, I mean, that degree like is just showing me like, okay, like, you know, one day maybe I would have my own company or run a company. It's possible. Or maybe it's not that I run my own company, but it's a way to make an existing one better. And honestly, just like learn and work with people, you know, like more so not just in like a studio and dancing with them, but like facets of an entire organization. I think it's really, really important to know like what every, you know, part of an organization is doing and how it contributes, because it's not just obviously like you see the dancers' faces, but it takes so much more than just the dancers to make a show go on. So yeah.
There's so much happening behind the scenes. We have no idea all the different roles that it takes to put something together when we are sitting there in the audience. So I love that you said that, and also that you had the interest to go, let me take that route when it comes to school. That's really touching. But also, you know, Ikolo was talking about something in terms of diversity and PNB being very intentional about that. And I know you've experienced that, but I want to hear from your perspective how that's been for you in terms of opportunities and what you've been able to see there with other dancers and administration at PNB.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you can visibly see how much the company has changed, especially just due to like so many changes in the world. The pandemic happened, we weren't able to do what we love to do, and that gave us a lot of time to kind of think and restructure how these organizations have been built. You know, when I first joined the company, I was the first Black woman in over 30 years to be hired. So I think that I'm so grateful to see it shift so quickly, and like to have people actually listening and like doing all these amazing things, because it's changed, honestly, in pretty much every part of an organization that you can think of, and it trickles down, and it's so beautiful to see. You know, I see so many younger dancers now that I'm like, you know, like I'm happy that you don't have to go through the same things I did, you know. But I think that at the same time it's interesting because I'm like, wow, like I'm pretty much one of the only company members that can remember a time where I was like, I was alone, you know, and what was that experience like for me? And like, I'm still like finding moments where I have to heal and like reconcile with those things and remind myself that like just because the ballet world felt a certain way at a time doesn't mean that it has to stay that way and that it can consistently change. I think PNB has obviously like done an amazing job of that, and I'm hoping to see other companies kind of take that lead and follow that.
Yeah, I get really excited anytime that I realize and learn how much is happening here, particularly in Washington State, but also the Pacific Northwest, to kind of put the rest of the country on notice a bit, right? And I think there's something so special and pivotal about some of the work that's being done here. But you also open so many doors. And I gotta ask, oh my gosh, I feel myself getting emotional because it's so touching.
Yeah.
You're so right. When you talk about a lot of the younger dancers coming through, understanding that that door was open, that you kind of kept a little foot in the door and like, hey, but also that intentionality from the administration.
Yeah,
all of that has
there's
to happen.
other people, that are also, playing a role in that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I think about the fact is like, I was 19, 20 years old, like already having a weight of like, I'm a Black dancer in this company and this hasn't, or, a Black female dancer in this company and this hasn't happened for a bit. So already there's like, not only am I trying to prove, can I be a professional ballet dancer, but then you have that. So I think that, and it's something that is really special about my career now. Like it's about to be my 8th year in the company. I'm kind of like, it is a weight, but it's also like, so much of my career has not really been about me in a way, like I've really haven't always danced for myself. It's been about my community and it's been about all these people that are looking up to me for representation when that wasn't necessarily there for so long, And so to see so many other people being able to fill that role so that we don't even have to think about like, just one person taking that on, but it's just this normalized thing of, everyone is dancing and they're beautiful and they can be anything, I think that is like what's been so overwhelmingly like amazing, specifically like I see like Ashton Edwards and Xylis Michael Hughes and these people that are just like, I remember when they were not even in the company yet and I was choreographing with them and just doing things and even still like working with them, I am constantly inspired because there's just such a joy and a pride in who they are. And that's just like, I just think that every artist and dancer should know that they should have that and that they're able to show up in the room as who they are.
Absolutely. And you know what? It makes the experience better for us in the audience, I tell you. There's something so special about looking on the stage and seeing the not only the uniformity of movement, but how it flows through different bodies.
Yeah.
It is so real and it's palpable for me when I'm sitting there. And I really, that's what I appreciate so much. It's not just, oh, wow, I get to see diversity on stage. I'm paying attention to how the moves are formulated in the body because of different lived experience, different cultural traditions. There's so much that's brought to life when y'all are on that stage. And trust me, it's felt by all of us. Lastly, he was talking a bit about that mental health component. And I want to ask you, being with the company for so long, how have you been able to experience how they are making sure that dancers have what they need, that they can work through things as they come up, that you have that support?
Yeah, I think that, so in the pandemic, well, before the pandemic, I suggested creating a mentorship program. And so me and another dancer, Cecilia Iliasu, who's a principal in the company, we were able to kind of like launch this mentorship program in the pandemic over Zoom with like about 6 classes of students. So it was just us 2 at first, and then with Josh Spell, who is the like mental health therapist at PNB. And so then from there, we've kind of created like a wellness program, and then them 2 specifically even like built it up even more as to what it is now. So I think like Josh Spell plays a huge role in just being able to like talk to dancers and students and give seminars if like those things are necessary. And that is something that isn't always thought about in other companies, mental health. I feel like we're on a really good route, like with just all of the things that are in place. But like me being me, and like because I'm in school and all this stuff, I'm like, okay, well let's take it even further. Like just because we're doing something that other people haven't done yet doesn't mean we stay at that same place. Like, let's keep progressing. Like, let's move it forward because we have the ability and the resources to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I
see,
feel grateful that we have those things for sure.
Well, it's champions like yourself who get somewhere and you make it better, right? Like, that's the beauty of it, because you also weren't like, you know what, I'm just going to keep my head down. I'm just going to do this. You were like, oh, wait, what about this? What about that, right?
I just am not the type of person. And I tell some of the younger dancers, I'm like, you all should have a little bit more like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, when someone told me no, or I was angry, I was like, okay, I'm just going to go do something over here then. Or I'm going to go make this thing. Or I'm going to just like put that energy somewhere else. Like, I feel like we're artists and we're so creative. So it's like, why not create solutions or create, it might not even be a solution, but a way to navigate something that you're feeling. And I feel really grateful to have this medium to be able to do that, you know?
Well, I gotta say, kudos to you for being able to inspire others, being an amazing example that you have set at PNB. And I'm looking forward to you getting that arts management degree. Congratulations for all the hard work and everything that you have brought to PNB. I can't wait to see you again on stage.
Yeah, Nutcracker coming up soon. There'll be a lot of shows and you'll see all of the beautiful dancers and students of the organization. I'm really excited, honestly, for Christmas this year. I like wasn't feeling that last time, but I was like, you know, I'm excited for the holidays. I'm gonna dive in this time around.
There we go. Good spirits. Spirits are high. Thank you so much for joining me. It's always good to check in with you. It has been too long, so I can't look. I'm gonna tell you right now, I can't wait to see you there. I will be there for Nutcracker. It's always around my birthday.
You let me
so
know. I'll come. You come backstage. We'll give you a tour.
There we
the
go.
Whole thing.
There we go. It's on me. I'm gonna be there. Thanks so much for joining me, Amanda.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, y'all. What a phenomenal, terrific Tuesday it has been. I get to wrap up all of this terrificness right after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Disney and Cameron Mackintosh's Mary Poppins comes to life on stage at the Fifth Avenue Theatre, featuring Step in Time and Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Make it a jolly holiday at Mary Poppins. For tickets, visit fifthavenue.org.
There's something magical, alchemical about being an artist. Being able to create, mold, envision, enlighten. This is a wonderful task. That's why I do it. My name is Joyce J. Scott, and I'm having my 50-year retrospective walk a mile in my dreams. Come on down.
A world of wonder awaits at Pacific Northwest Ballet's The Nutcracker. Treat your loved ones to the Northwest's favorite holiday tradition at Seattle Center's McCall Hall. Visit pnb.org.
Here on Back to Vesa, it's always been important to me that we uplift stories from across the region, and that no matter where you live in the nation, you never have to miss a moment of the show as we continue to highlight the beauty, excellence, and resilience of our communities across the Pacific Northwest. Why? Because representation matters. So no matter where you live, be it the Central District or Centralia, Portland or Pullman, or anywhere across the country, I encourage you to join me on this Back to Vesa journey by downloading the free Fox Local app on your phone or smart TV as we continue to elevate the very best in our communities.
Welcome back, y'all, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. What a terrific Tuesday. Huge shout out to my guests. We had Ikolo Griffin and Amanda Morgan in the building today, y'all. Huge shout out to PNB for their phenomenal partnership. They have really been truly inspiring to me, because when you learn about all of these background stories from all of these phenomenal dancers, y'all, there's so much to explore. So I'm encouraging you to get your tickets for the Nutcracker this season. It's always a fun time. Me and my family go. It's now becoming another tradition. As I was just talking about family traditions yesterday, this is a great family fun show. And I'm going to tell you right now, you get to see all of the different levels of dancers that are on that stage with this big production of the Nutcracker. So don't miss it this season. Huge shout out to PNB for joining me today and for both of my guests sharing their inspiring stories. You know, I want you to also be inspired by the stories you hear on The Day with Trae so that you can find your way of giving into community as my guests showed you they do today. I get to be back with y'all. And until tomorrow at 11 a.m. Peace. Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.